The anime begins with the narrator explaining the magic realm, the world our characters inhabit. Everyone can wield magic in this world as it's a part of everyday life, and one's mastery of it determines their social status. We examine a 75-year-old named Regro Burndead who lives with his son Mash Burndead in a forest away from other humans. After a skirmish about the front door, Regro asks Mash if he finished his training. Mash says he has and asks Regro why his training leads to physicality. Regro informs the audience of Mash's inability to use magic, so he tells Mash he'll explain later and leaves for the day. Regro tells Mash not to venture into the city, and Mash promises he won't. Mash ignores Regro's wishes due to having an empty stomach. He notices many people using magic in the city and wonders why they're using magic for things they could do with their hands. He hands a caterer bent coins and shocks him. He unbends the coins and receives his food. Meanwhile, someone reports that this world's divine invisionary will be Rain Ames. At the same time, Mash wanders the streets while eating cream puffs and wonders why everyone looks at him differently. He bumps into a member of the magic police and stains the officer's uniform. The officer yells at Mash for his crude actions, so Mash rips off the piece that he stained and promises to return them when they're cleaned. Brad stumbles upon the officer and Mash and tells his comrade to stop causing a fuss. Before he confronts Mash, Regro grabs him and flees. Brad summons a magical bird with his wand and tells him to follow him. Regro yells at Mash for venturing into the city, and Mash apologizes. Regro orders him to complete some morning training routines as punishment. Suddenly, Brad and his men arrive at Regro's household and demand that he tells them where Mash went. After finishing his training, Mash heads home to get some cream puffs. Before Mash opens the door, he overhears Brad conversing with Regro about him. Regro confirms that the magic police tend to remove inferior beings who can't use magic to help magic flourish among the populace. Regro refuses to confess, so Brad pulverizes him. We receive a flashback of a young Regro. Regro recounts how he's always been a failure and wanted to end his life. Before he performed said action, he overheard an unmarked, abandoned baby crying. This gave Regro a new reason to live. Regro yells and tells Mash to run away. Mash breaks the door and knocks out one of Brad's goons with immense strength. Mash vows to send all these men to their graves to protect Regro. Brad throws many magical spells at Mash, but he reflects each attack effortlessly. Mash throws a wand at Brad and breaks his spell. He warns Brad not to threaten his family again. Brad asks Mash to do what he asks, and he'll let him and Regro slide. He wants Mash to enroll in the Magic Academy to become the next Divine Invisionary. He promises society will accept him and that he'll back him up. Brad wants the fortune and prestige that comes with Mash becoming the Divine Invisionary. Mash accepts Brad's proposal because he wants him and Regro to live a peaceful life. Meanwhile, someone named Claude observes this year's applicants. At the same time, Regro and Brad spy on Mash. Mash is confident he'll pass the entrance exam. Claude appears in front of the entrance, and we learn he's mastered countless advanced spells despite his youth. Everyone's impressed by Claude's wizardry except for Mash. Claude summons seats and has the students complete a written exam. Claude has enchanted the exams though, so the students must work to get the questions to stop moving around. Irritated, Mash crushes his writing utensil and orders the questions to stop. They obey his commands, baffling everyone. We then receive a montage of Mash successfully completing tasks. Claude crafts a maze test for the students. He asks them to locate the endpoint within 30 minutes. Before Mash begins, a female student named Lemon tags along with him. Lemon gets into multiple traps, irritating Mash. Before he leaves, Lemon uses a spell to bind Mash in cuffs. Lemon reveals she was ordered to keep Mash away from the goal. She won't tell Mash why, so he uses his strength to break the cuffs and leaves. Lemon attempts to chase Mash down, but an Egyptian monster stops her. Before the monster strikes her for failing to solve a riddle, Mash saves Lemon because he pities her. Although they have little time left, Mash bashes through the maze with Lemon. Everyone belittles Mash for cheating, but Lemon confesses that Claude told her to get in Mash's way. She reveals Claude promised to pass her if she prevented Mash from completing the maze. Claude admits it and attempts to duel Mash. Mash crushes his wand, startling everyone. Before the fight gets chaotic, Headmaster Wahlberg arrives to stop it. He tells the students he'll take charge of the examination and begins the final interviews. He teleports Mash to his chambers and interviews him. He asks Mash several questions regarding why he wanted to attend the academy and his potential worries about the maze test. Mash says he was never concerned. Wahlberg asks Mash if he'd be afraid if he fought someone as powerful as himself. He tests Mash by harming Regro's soul in one of his magical contraptions. Mash can't punch his way out of this and realizes it is an endurance test. Wahlberg removes the spell and confirms Mash's suspicions. Mash tells Wahlberg if he ever harmed his family, he'd knock him out. Wahlberg welcomes him into Easton Magic Academy and tells him he passed the entrance exam. Mash's first day at Easton Magic Academy begins, and he upsets his instructor by using his strength to open a lock. Mash meets his roommate, Finn. Mash asks Finn what you have to do to become a divine visionary. Finn explains you have to collect gold coins and you gain these based on your school work, extracurriculars, test, and school life evaluations. Mash asks Finn if he can borrow a broom for class tomorrow. Their instructor tells the class to use magic to command their broom. Mash struggles using magic, so he kicks the ground, causing his broom to jump into him. A classmate argues with Mash for cheating and challenges him to a race. The loser must obey the winner's command. The teacher allows them to race, and Mash beats his opponent. Finn explains Mash utilized his strength and air resistance to beat his challenger. Mash drops the bet out of pity, and before his opponent hurts him, a boy named Cavill stops him. Cavill asks Mash if he wants to be friends, but Mash mocks him. The teacher stops Cavill from disrupting the class. Cavill tells Mash they should meet again after school, and he departs. Somewhere, Cavill asks his friend why he lost to Mash and beats him up for not following orders. Finn tells Mash about Cavill in the hallway and claims Cavill's feared because he's the son of a high-ranking member at the Bureau of Magic. If someone stands against Cavill, they're likely to get expelled, and Cavill will continue to torment them. In Potions class, Mash realizes his textbook is all torn up. Cavill approaches him about not attending their meeting yesterday. Cavill asks Mash to complete some favors for him. In exchange, he'll speak with his connections and have them put in a good word for Mash to help him accomplish his goal of becoming the divine visionary. While cleaning, Mash drops something and learns he forgot to return Finn's textbook from a prior class. At the same time, Cavill has been tasking Finn to ruin Mash's belongings. Cavill asks Finn to burn Mash's stuff. He hopes this constant bullying will persuade Mash to quit school. Finn refuses to pursue Cavill's latest task, so Cavill binds Finn with his string magic and hurts Finn. Mash grabs Cavill by the hair and smashes his face to the ground. He tells Cavill he should be the one apologizing. Suddenly, Vice Principal Kregos arrives and explains how some students receive better treatment than others. Before he'd tell someone of the incident, Mash kicks Kregos and buries him in the hallway. Mash gets invited to Wahlberg's office, and he tells Mash that he received a letter from the Bureau of Magic. Wahlberg explains how the Bureau of Magic is the highest legal authority in the country. However, Wahlberg burns the letter since he doesn't like how caring students are at a disadvantage to the snarky ones. He hopes someone like Mash can become a divine visionary since it would help change the system. Wahlberg gives Mash a rundown on how to become a divine visionary. The narrator explains Mash didn't receive any punishment for his actions and gained a following. While discussing cream puffs with Finn, a man named Tom Knowles approaches Mash with an offer. He wants Mash to represent Adler Dorm in a duello match. It's a broom competition event, but Mash tries telling Tom that he can't fly a broom. During the competition, Mash stays put on the ground. The episode concludes with the fans belittling Mash for not participating in the sport. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more exciting content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. By subscribing